Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel S2T. In today's show, Computer Wednesday, we're going to talk about Wi-Fi Dabba. So let's dive right into it. Well, first we have to understand what the heck we are talking about. So we are talking about a new internet service provider, and it's a startup in Bangalore, basically Silicon Valley of India. And their selling point is they're gonna give you cheap and fast internet. That's kind of obvious, but they're gonna give it using basically Wi-Fi. So we have multiple service provider right now. So we have 4G providers, we have fiber providers. These people want to do something interesting, and they want to use Wi-Fi to provide internet anywhere. So this is what we are talking about. So how the heck they're gonna do it? Now they're gonna take internet same way every Tom, Dick and Harry, every other company does that. Like they will take fiber from somewhere. Generally, each country has their own governmental body that deals with the undersea fiber cable to communicating to private companies, and they're gonna take the fiber from there, and then from that central connection, they're gonna distribute it. Now that's where your cost starts to rise up, because once you have established that, again, how the heck you're gonna get your product to the end customer? So they're gonna use node now. Getting connection to one point is super easy, but how the heck you distribute it among a whole city, and a city as large as Bangalore, which is quite huge, it's like that's the difficult part. So they are utilizing laser communication. That is what is called free space optical communication. So instead of laying down fiber from their central receiving backbone to everywhere, they are just relying on basically high mobile towers, and they're gonna use laser communication to distribute the connection. That's why they are cutting out the middleman. Basically, laying down fiber specifically underground is very expensive. On top of that, it requires a lot of basically red tape to go through, because again you have to take permits and permits and all that. Those are very expensive and tedious also. So they are bypassing that. So they only receive internet from, let's say, outside a town where it's super cheap and effective. They get the connection there. From there, like from their backbone to distribution everywhere, they utilize laser communication. Now from that point, basically let's say you have a mobile top tower there. They're gonna have cable, normal ethernet cable, and those ethernet cable will connect to basically Wi-Fi dabba, aka access point. Now these access point will allow you to receive the communication. Now how the heck you gonna use this? Basically, these access point in the phase one will be only there where people have large gatherings, basically coffee shops, things of that way. And now in India, instead of coffee shops, we have coffee shops. It's just that we have more chai walas there, basically tea shops. So all these tea shops are kind of a very big gathering group. Basically, people during evening break time in offices, they gather there. Like you can have, like, even a small tea shop could have like 20-30 people gathering there every day reliably, as long as it's a working day. So the idea is these access point would be there in the first place. It has already been done. So, and there you're gonna, from the tea shop seller, you're gonna buy coupons, so to say. You're gonna have a 2 rupee coupon, 10 rupee, 20 rupee, and these coupons would be valid for one day. Now the interesting part is, even though these coupon you are buying from one tea wala, let's say in the morning you bought it, you used your one tea wala and you did the work, you came home, there's a tea wala near you which also has this service. The data will be still valid. The data has a time limit but not a location limit. Basically, it's not like, oh, you bought it from here, use it here. It's like, as long as you are in range, use it. So that's the how all of those things was, because they are bypassing basically middle mile problem, as is classified. They are reducing their cost drastically, because fiber runs are expensive. So bypassing that saves them a lot of money. They can achieve things that, like, 10 Gbps connection from point A to point B on a fraction of a cost. So that's how they are, that's their business model, so to say. Now, I've seen many ISPs, and I'm reasonably sure you must have also seen, there are big ISP that are like, granddaddy, that exploit you to the end. Then you have smaller ISP that tries to do their best, but they are not that good. And this company is in that category. It's a small ISP. However, they are doing something differently, because many times, even in my small town, there are like 2-3 small ISPs, but they are very dense, so to say. Like, they just know, okay, I'm gonna get the connection from this service provider, I'm gonna distribute it amongst you, and they buy the products from, let's say, D-Link, Cisco, or whatever have you, and they distribute it to customer. Everything is fine and dandy, but they have no control over the quality, service, and all that, anything like that. Basically, if you are not happy with the router, they can't help you. If you are not happy with how the heck, how stable the connection is, or it keeps dropping off, they cannot do anything about it. So those reality affects it. And this company, before starting, they did a lot of research. They sat down and they're like, let's see why the heck ISPs are so expensive in the first place. And many of the costs were not only from physical point, basically laying down fibers or giving the fiber to the last mile per customer, that was also expensive. Those add up a lot of cost because they have to rely on D-Link or Cisco or whichever is company is providing the equipment on both end, basically customer end or your end. You have to pay them a lot of money, and these commercial grade equipments, they are ludicrously expensive. So this company took a completely different approach. It's like from node to access point to operating system. On those access point, everything will be developed in house. It's almost like SpaceX kind of a vertical. Everything should be done in one roof. So they started out small and humble with a Raspberry Pi and a USB 4G backups stuff with a lithium ion battery backups and all that. They started small, but they kept developing it. And the reality they had is like there are routers, they are generally sold in three categories. You have a cheap router, which is like okay, it's like it works, but useless. Then you have a medium range, which is like okay but not that great because it cannot handle too many clients. It's very good for a few people but not handle like 20-30 clients. Then you have super expensive one. They want performance of super expensive one but without it being super expensive, so they started developing their own. That's thinking, developing their own hardware. So again, they went to Qualcomm, they got the chips there, system on chip basically, and then developed the whole ecosystem around it. So that is the completely different of this ISP. They're not just like okay, I'm gonna buy a router and I'm gonna distribute it. No, it's not like there are many internet services which rely on ubiquity equipments. They receive internet point-to-point communication and then distribute in locally. It has been done. There are many people do. Heck, there is one YouTuber who is doing that. So it's normal, but doing it in this way where they're like okay, we're gonna figure out how the heck this operating system works, we're gonna distribute the whole damn thing and control it ourselves. That is a very big gamble, because again, if customer has an issue with a router, you cannot just call someone and be like okay, hey, can you take care of this? No, you have to solve it. Now there are benefits of that because even from day one they are distributing virtual private network from day one because they are writing the operating system themselves. These sort of features are inbuilt. And to make sure the whole architecture is simplified, that's the whole deal here. They are not selling to you, they are selling to a tea shop near you, they are selling to a bus stop near you. So doing this way near you, you get the connection, but without them actually distributing hundreds of the connection, because hundred of individual connections are very expensive rather than providing in some centralized place. So they have already done that. They are already making some profit out of it. It's not like they are swimming in money, but they are making profit out of it, which is a very big deal for a business. And to make sure, let's say once they have large communications of this, basically you can have large bus stop where they can have 5-6 access point. All those access points are designed with a mesh network, and that is why they needed to control the operating system, because operating systems control, like you can buy Cisco mesh network, you can buy Alienware networks. All those companies do mesh network, but how the heck they do it, they will not tell you. That's the proprietary magic sauce, so to say. So they had to develop it. Like, yeah, we're not gonna trust you, we're gonna develop our own. So that's what they are doing, and it is quite amazing. And the reason their development is actually so cheap, the fact that they are actually making profit, is because the whole pipeline is very simple. They are like okay, we have 5,000 customers, we're gonna only expand to 5,000 customers. They're not gonna be like we have to lay down fibers everywhere, which Geo Fibers was biggest issue. Is like Geo Fiber is a very good service provider. Problem is they're expensive as hell. Why? Because they lay down the fiber everywhere, even though people are not taking the connection. So it has like hundreds of boxes that can give hundreds of connections. Like each box has 24 connections easily, and they do not have that many people. Like each box barely has one cable going, and most of the boxes are empty, but they had to eat up that cost. So that cost comes from us. The cost is per month is very expensive. This puppy, they do not have to do it. It's like okay, only in this area this tea shop has enough traffic, enough people are utilizing their mobile phones, that they are like okay, we're gonna have one laser receiver on the top, receiver and transmitter, and we're gonna give one access point there. Done. So this cheap deployment, because of utilizing laser network and not needing to dig up trenches, saves them a lot of money. Now in terms of potential, they have a lot of potential, because I told you, like there are many companies that are just like, I'm gonna take the fiber from point A and then I'm gonna distribute it. Many people do that. That's normal. It's just that they are going to that end where they're like, okay, I'm gonna develop the damn hardware, I'm gonna develop the damn software. They call the operating system Dabba OS. So it's quite amazing. So doing that is on a whole different level, and they want to go to such a point where they're like, roads will be laid down, or there will be a cable on road, and in this cable there will be access point integrated in the cable. Again, it will be big blocks that you can see, like, okay, every 1.5 kilometer. The idea is, so even if you are driving in a road, you can still have the coverage. So they want to cover the whole basically city. It's not, they are not aiming for only chai walas or only coffee shops or only bus stops or things of that nature. That's their starting point. That's how they are making their money right now. And maybe many people have already utilized it, especially auto rickshaw drivers. They are like, they do not have the luxury of, like, having large fiber connection in their home, but this connection is so stable, reliable, cheap enough that they are utilizing it. So they are already making the money, and they are want to push it to the next level, and they are developing the backbone to do so. And because of their actual understanding of the market, they deployed the system first in 2017. And this yellow box you could see in some places in basically Bangalore. And after a while, every place started to have this. Even banks started to chime in. Even large corporations as like Tata has a small branch that makes Tata Chai, and that Chai divisions has like shops, and those shops started to offer this. So brick by brick, day by day, they started to expand, because they have a very thorough understanding of the market. And they specified something very interesting, because let's say companies like Jio Fiber or Airtel or any fiber provider, they have to lay down the fiber beforehand. They have to be like, I have to lay down the fiber and hope people take the connection. They only place the fibers in places where they have hope of that somebody is going to buy the connection. That means high income residentials. No problem for those people, but what happens to low income people? They get left out. They're like, you can literally have see this in some places where it's like, these large buildings are there, complete Wi-Fi coverage, complete basically Geo fiber connection. You can just call them up, and in less than 8 hours they're going to deliver you the fiber connection to your home, to your computer. But on this side of the road, lower income people, no, sorry sir, we cannot distribute it. Like, or they will ask you to spend the money for that fiber link. These people, because the link by link cost is so cheap, they're like, just give me a top of a building, like, oh, this is the rooftop, just give me the access to the rooftop, I'm gonna have the laser link and I'm gonna distribute it. Done. So this actual understanding and this fact that they can truly provide cheap internet to people who need it the most, basically low income people, it's kind of amazing. And when I saw this, when I started this presentation, I was like, yeah, no, this might be just normal thing, but no, they're really digging deep into it. They're like, dude, these people cannot be covered. There are places in Mumbai known as like chawls and all that. There are hundreds of people there, but because of the low income nature, companies do not want to provide fiber there. It's like they may lay it down once in a while if there is enough rich areas nearby, but generally they do not cover it. They can directly cover it because it does not cost them too much. And per capita, basically per customer, they do not have to pay too much. It's like 1 or 2 rupees. That's very low. That's low enough that if somebody is only utilizing WhatsApp or some payment application, they can do like 1 rupee per day. That's nothing. That's like 1/70th of a dollar. So that actual understanding of the market is quite amazing, and they have a lot of growth potential. Like slowly over time, because they went and directly went to China, and they actually went there and it's like, bro, we're gonna bring in this many Qualcomm chips and you're gonna build a router for us. That shows that they are serious about this. So growth potential is very amazing. However, the only thing I could see that could affect their growth is RF interference, basically radio frequency interference. As more and more people start to use Wi-Fi, even though your router could be very strong, you have to understand each mobile phone is trying to talk to the router. So let's say 25 people are in one place, all of their mobile phone starts to directly communicating. That starts to cause an issue. Best of the best router cannot do much about it, because each mobile may end up interfering with each other. And if you utilize basically 5 gigahertz, you do not have the range. You use 2.5 gigahertz, it does not have the channels. Basically, it only has 3 non-overlapping channels. So reality in they are still working, they are still developing, and because they are developing themselves, they might even figure out some timing sequences that allows them to communicate to each mobile phone independently. Again, that is why developing the OS like on a deeper level helps them, because they are developing the system on chip, how the heck it's gonna package, how the heck it's gonna be delivered. All those things are helping them. So other than that minor issue which they may be able to solve, or heck that may not even be an issue in the first place, is just that RF one. Everything else is quite amazing about these people. It's like, I'm gonna become an ISP and I'm actually gonna develop the operating system. I'm actually gonna develop the basically Qualcomm based basically Wi-Fi router, because there are MediaTek based routers every village. They are very good, but they are kind of cheap and best kind of solution. Qualcomm routers are very expensive, but again they are best of the best. So these people are directly going for the best of best. Then they have battery backups. Everything was thought of. And most of them have basically 4G failover in case the fiber link fails. Basically the laser link fails. So they have a lot of potential, lot of market opportunity, and more than enough people are willing to pay these small amounts of money that they need. So let's see how they unfold. Over time they could become a very big deal. So this was my presentation on Wi-Fi Dabba. I hope you liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I'd urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment, and please leave a comment because I try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.